Hey guys, so we are now in a good position to solve the right code for the two questions that we discussed. Remember, like, try to recollect those two questions. In the first question, you were given a sorted array of integers and a key. You had to find the first occurrence of the key in that array, right? So remember how we try to think about that. So let's take an example. Let's say this is your sorted array and you are interested in finding 4. What we said was, because we know that we can only find the last f or the first t using binary search. This 4 has to occur at either the last f or the first t, right? So that basically like gave us two candidate sequences. One was this, wherein you had the first t at 4, and the other sequence was this, wherein you had the last f at the 4. And then we reasoned that this sequence is never possible, because you cannot have the 4 evaluating to false in one case and true in another case. So this sequence is not possible. So this is the sequence that I have to stick to. And based on this, I defined the ordering and the predicate. I said that for the ordering of the search space, keep the same ordering as the elements. Most of the cases, in most of the problems, you would see that this would be the case. You wouldn't like tamper with the ordering so much. Whatever ordering is given in the question, more or less you'll keep the same ordering. And the predicate was like not very hard to come up with. Once you see this picture, you know that you want to make the sequence true beyond 4 and false before that. So that is, you can simply say that px is nothing but x is x greater equals 4. It will be true for any number greater than equal to 4. So from 4 to going all the way to the end of the sequence, you will get t's, and before that you will get falses. So we were interested in the first t for this sequence, right? So let's quickly write code for this. Very simple. What will I do? I will initialize first the window, right? Window is very simple to initialize. You have your low, which is the starting. You can initialize the 0th index to be the low. The high is the last element and minus 1th index. The loop will continue as long as you have more than one element in the window. So while low is less than high, you will run the loop. You have two parts to this while loop. You have mid computation and you have the decision. So we will first do the decision and then come back to the mid computation based on the decision. So in the decision, we will simply evaluate the predicate at the mid. So what is the predicate? Is x greater equals 4. So if AR of mid is greater equals k. This was k, by the way, not 4, right? So if AR of mid greater equals k, that means this is the condition if the predicate evaluated to true. So if the predicate evaluated to true and you are looking for the first t, recollect. What does that mean? That basically means that you can discard everything to the right of this mid, excluding this mid, right? So then your high becomes your mid. And the other case is if the predicate evaluates to false, which means the number is less than 4. So you are somewhere here. So here you know that you can discard everything to the left of this, including this element, because it's an f and you're looking for a t. So you know that t will occur to the right of this f, right? So you can update your low to mid plus 1. So that's the decision. Based on this decision, you can come back to the mid computation. I told you how to do it. Find the block that is always progressing. So these two blocks, this block is always progressing, right? So because you are like not taking the mid always in this block. So your search space is reducing by at least 1. right? So this block is always progressing. What is it updating? It is updating the low. So take the lower mid. So that basically tells us that our mid is nothing but the low plus high minus low by 2. And the sanity check is, once you are left with one element, is it really the k that you are looking for? Right? If it is the k that you are looking for, you found the first occurrence. So that's very right. So if AR of low, or you can use AR of high, both of them will be the same because you are left with only one element. If this is equal to k, then you can return this index. So you can return low. Otherwise, you can return -1 or whatever the question is telling you. What is the sanity check? I will repeat again. You are left with one element and you have to ensure if this is the element that you are really, if this is truly the element that you are looking for. So how do you make sure that it is truly the element that you're looking for? It has to be equal to k, right? Then you know that it is guaranteed to be the first occurrence because of the way in which the searching has unfolded. So that's why you do the sanity check is the element at the position, the last position that you're left with, is it equal to k? If it is equal to k, you found it, so return the index. So low or high, you can return both of them, either of them. It does not matter. You can return or high also. Here also you can use or high. Right? So, or return -1 otherwise. So that's basically the condition. The code for this question. Let's look at the second question that we did. The same question, but you have to find the last occurrence. Right? So let's say 2, 2, 2, 9, 9, 15, 15, 17, and let's say your k is 9. You are interested in returning this index. So how did we reason about this? We said that if I have to come up with the predicate, I need the last f to be here or the first t to be here. So if I have the last f here, then this is how my picture will look like. Right? And if I need the first t to be here, then this is how my picture will look like. Now you can again reason that this configuration is not possible because 9f then a 9t, you cannot, for the same 9 you cannot get two values of the predicate at 9. It's a deterministic function. So your only hope now is this particular predicate or this particular sequence. How do you get this sequence? Not very difficult to come up with the predicate. Same ordering if you keep sorted, you can leverage the sorting to come up with a predicate, which is x, you want it to be true beyond this. So is x greater than 9 or greater than the key? If it is, then you know it's true, and otherwise it's false. So with this, you know that you are interested in the last f. So let's write the code for this. Initialize your low, the window. So low is 0, high is n-1. Go in the loop as long as you have more than one element. You have two parts to this while loop. You have the mid computation, which we will do after we've done the decision. So let's talk about the decision first. Decision is you evaluate the predicate at the mid. So is AR of mid greater than k? If it is, then you know you are at a t and you are looking for the last f, right? Remember. So that basically means you can discard anything to the right of this, including this, because this is a t and you're looking for an f, right? So you can update your high to be mid -1. And otherwise, if it's a false, then you can discard anything to the left of it, but not this, because this can be the last f. So your low becomes this element. Now let's come to the mid computation. Two blocks, B1, B2. Which one is progressing? B1 is progressing, right? So what are you updating in B1? High. So use an upper mid. So your mid becomes low plus high minus low plus 1 by 2. And the sanity check finally, you are left with one element now. You have to check, is it really an f? or is it equal to the k key, right? So that's again the same, is at the low or at the high, is it equal to k? If it is, then you know you found it, so you can return low. Otherwise you can return -1 or whatever the question asks you to return, specifying that you did not find this. Not very hard once you start seeing this in action, right? We started with a very abstract framework wherein you, like, some parts of it might not have made a lot of sense then, but I guess it's like getting more and more clearer as we are doing examples and we are like progressing. So in the next video, we will start with problems or applications. We will see the different types of problems that you can solve using this framework that we've built for ourselves. So take a moment to go through the essential details of this framework, try to appreciate each one of them. Something that you want to think about is, why do I say that the block progressing, should I take the mid corresponding to that? So think about that. And I did give you an example, like a hint, which is you typically use that block in order to avoid infinite loops in this part of the code. Right? In this part, you might get an infinite loop otherwise. So we'll start with applications from next video.